The world of Hollywood is often synonymous with big budgets, flashy stars, and spectacular special effects. However, despite the industry's immense financial power and creative potential, it is also defined by a reluctance to take risks. The recently released Megalopolis, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, serves as a perfect example of why Hollywood is increasingly cautious when it comes to embracing innovative ideas. Despite being a high-budget project with a visionary director at the helm, the movie failed to perform at the box office, revealing the stark disconnect between daring artistic choices and the business-driven mindset that dominates Hollywood. Through its large budget, unconventional storytelling, and critical failure, Megalopolis illuminates the industry's hesitance to embrace risk in an environment where success is often measured in predictable formulas rather than bold creative leaps. One of the most significant aspects of Megalopolis is its hefty production budget, a hallmark of Hollywood's modern approach to filmmaking. With an estimated budget of over $120 million, the film was undoubtedly a massive financial gamble. Hollywood studios typically finance large-scale projects with the hope of securing significant returns through widespread distribution, marketing, and merchandise. Big-budget films often follow a proven formula, incorporating elements such as explosive action, comedy, or sequels to attract the broadest audience possible. The Megalopolis diverged from this formula in its attempt to deliver an intellectually ambitious and experimental narrative. A futuristic vision of urban life, the film tried to address philosophical and societal themes on a scale rarely seen in mainstream cinema. The film's production, with its futuristic cities and complex characters, appeared to promise a high-concept exploration of humanity's future. However, this ambitious vision, while intriguing on paper, just completely failed at delivering. The sheer scale of the film's budget meant that it needed to attract a massive audience to break even, yet the lack of a familiar genre or established franchise made it a difficult sell to mainstream viewers. Despite this, the film's box office returns were dismal, highlighting the risks inherent in relying on a unique, untested concept to fuel a movie's commercial success. Rather than embracing its innovation, Megalopolis became a cautionary tale of the difficulty of balancing creative ambition with the financial expectations that Hollywood demands from its blockbuster films. At its core, Megalopolis is a radical departure from the usual formulas that dominate the Hollywood landscape. Hollywood's biggest successes tend to be rooted in familiar genres, action thrillers, superhero epics, and romantic comedies that adhere to well-established conventions. These genres are safe bets for studios, offering proven narratives, widely recognized stars, and a built-in fan base that guarantees a certain level of success. In contrast, Megalopolis tried to break free from these constraints with a complex narrative that combined futuristic urban design with grand philosophical ideas about society and the human condition. The failure of the film lies in how it is just a terrible movie. Instead of offering the typical action-comedy spectacle that has become synonymous with Hollywood blockbusters, Coppola sought to challenge viewers with a philosophical and speculative narrative, one that demanded engagement and deep thinking. This shift is precisely where Hollywood's reluctance to take risks became apparent. The film's lack of accessibility to a broader audience, who were more inclined to spend their money on the safety of established genres, ultimately led to its downfall. This movie disappointed everyone who seemed to watch it, which is a shame. Megalopolis also exposes the industry's aversion to originality when it comes to large-scale productions. Hollywood has become increasingly hesitant to fund high-budget films that depart from tried and tested formulas. Instead, the industry has embraced the safety of sequels, remakes, and superhero films, all of which operate within familiar storytelling structures. This focus on the proven rather than the innovative creates a cycle that stifles the opportunity for groundbreaking narratives in mainstream cinema. Megalopolis represents a rare exception to this trend, an attempt to think outside the box. Unfortunately, it serves as an example of why, for studios, the box is often the safer bet. The poor box office performance of Megalopolis cannot be overlooked. In an era where studios heavily rely on opening weekend profits and fast returns, the film's failure underscores how Hollywood has come to prioritize mass appeal and franchise potential over artistic experimentation. The movie's inability to capture audiences' attention in theaters reflects how Hollywood has evolved into a business-first environment, where the success of a film is almost entirely determined by its commercial viability rather than its artistic merit. The lackluster box office return also demonstrates the industry's growing disinterest in films that don't promise immediate profitability. High-budget movies are expected to deliver a quick return on investment, which is why many filmmakers are hesitant to stray too far from conventional storytelling formulas. Megalopolis suffered from this mindset. Coppola's work, while visionary and thoughtful, was just not good at the execution. The movie seemed to have too much ambition. This disconnect between artistic ambition and the industry's commercial demands ultimately left Megalopolis with limited appeal and insufficient box office revenue. Megalopolis is a prime example of why Hollywood is reluctant to embrace risk. Despite having an iconic director and a high budget, the film failed to generate significant box office revenue due to its departure from blockbuster storytelling. The movie's intellectual ambitions and philosophical themes, while intriguing, proved to be alienating for a mainstream audience accustomed to action-packed spectacles and comedic relief. In an industry dominated by commercial interests and a preference for formulaic success, Megalopolis stands as a reminder of the challenges filmmakers face when trying to push boundaries. Hollywood's fear of risk-taking, particularly in the realm of big-budget filmmaking, often leads to a preference for safe bets over bold, creative endeavors, making it difficult for unique ideas to thrive in the modern cinematic landscape. With all of that being said, do not be surprised if in the future a YouTuber decides to make a video essay about how this movie is somehow a hidden masterpiece. You all know that it is coming eventually.